Outboxer. Outboxers, or pure boxers, base their style on distance, accuracy, and movement. The goal is to land clean punches while staying out of reach, using quick jabs, straight shots, and lateral footwork to control the fight. Rather than trading at close range, they make opponents miss and then answer with sharp counters. Caleb Plant shows this approach in today's boxing. He works behind a steady jab, snapping it out to disrupt rhythm, and then following with short combinations. His footwork keeps him circling and creating angles, so even when his opponent tries to press forward, the exchanges end on Plant's terms. This ability to strike and exit safely is what defines the modern outboxer. Floyd Mayweather Jr. took the style to its highest level. His balance, timing, and defensive positioning made him one of the hardest fighters to hit cleanly. Mayweather used economical punch output, landing only when openings appeared, while denying opponents chances to counter. He controlled tempo through precision, not volume, forcing opponents to chase while absorbing little damage. Swarmer. Swarmers are defined by constant pressure and high punch output. Instead of waiting for openings, they close distance quickly and force the fight to stay at close range. Their aim is to overwhelm opponents with volume and intensity, taking away the space needed for careful setups or counters. This style relies on stamina and toughness, since swarmers must keep advancing even when they take punches in return. Mike Tyson is the most famous example of a swarmer at heavyweight. Using a compact bob and weave, he slipped incoming punches as he moved forward, then attacked with explosive hooks and uppercuts. Tyson's pressure was immediate from the opening bell, cutting off the ring and giving opponents little time to think or reset. His ability to stay low, close distance, and strike in short bursts made him one of the most dangerous inside fighters in history. Naoya Inoue demonstrates how the swarmer style works in the lighter divisions. He presses forward behind fast combinations. He shows how swarmers win through relentless aggression and controlled chaos. Counterpuncher. Counterpunchers build their style around timing and anticipation. Instead of leading, they wait for the opponent to make the first move, then exploit the opening with precise counters. This requires sharp reflexes and the ability to read patterns in an opponent's rhythm. The advantage of counterpunching is efficiency, landing clean, damaging shots while making the other fighter pay for aggression. Canelo Alvarez is a clear example of a modern counterpuncher. He uses subtle head movement and slips to create small openings, then answers with fast, powerful hooks and uppercuts. Canelo is patient, often letting opponents throw combinations that glance off his guard or miss entirely, before punishing them with a single well-timed counter. His knockouts of fighters who overextended themselves show how dangerous this style can be when combined with power. Gervonta "Tank" Davis uses a different but equally effective version of counterpunching. He often starts slowly, studying his opponent's rhythm while staying defensively responsible. Once he identifies a pattern, he unleashes explosive counters, usually with his left hand. His knockout of Leo Santa Cruz with a single uppercut as Santa Cruz overcommitted is one of the clearest examples. Davis shows how counterpunchers can control fights through patience, timing, and sudden bursts of power. Slugger. Sluggers rely on raw power and heavy punches to overwhelm opponents. Unlike outboxers, who depend on movement and precision, sluggers aim to end fights early by landing damaging shots. Their strategy is straightforward: trade accuracy and defense for knockout potential. This makes them dangerous at any moment, since a single clean punch can change the outcome of a fight. David Benavidez is a modern fighter who fits the slugger description. He overwhelms opponents with aggressive combinations, often standing in range and throwing with full power. Benavidez is less concerned with conserving energy or avoiding counters, trusting his strength and durability to carry him through exchanges. His ability to break down fighters with steady, punishing offense shows how the slugger approach can dominate over multiple rounds. Anthony Joshua demonstrated a similar style in the early part of his career. As a heavyweight with significant size and strength, he focused on controlling opponents with his jab before unleashing powerful right hands and uppercuts. Many of his early wins ended in knockouts within the first half of fights, reflecting his emphasis on decisive punching. Joshua's reliance on power made him a classic modern slugger, capable of ending contests suddenly when openings appeared. Boxer puncher. Boxer punchers combine the technical skills of an outboxer with the power of a slugger. This style is versatile, allowing the fighter to adapt depending on the opponent. They can work at long range using the jab, but they can also step inside to exchange and rely on power to finish fights. The strength of a boxer puncher lies in balance. They can switch between defense and offense, speed and power, depending on what the situation requires. Manny Pacquiao is one of the clearest examples of a boxer puncher. He used his southpaw stance, foot speed, and fast combination. Pacquiao's ability to dart in knockdowns and knock aggression. Errol Spence Jr. represents the same style in a modern form. He works behind a strong jab and steady fundamentals, but he also breaks opponents down with heavy body shots and accurate straight punches. Spence is patient and methodical, keeping fights under control until he finds the right moment to increase pressure. His balance of technical skill and power makes him a classic boxer puncher who can adjust to any opponent's strengths. Switch hitter. Switch hitters are fighters who can operate effectively from both orthodox and southpaw stances. This ability creates strategic advantages by forcing opponents to adjust to different angles and punch trajectories. A switch hitter can change stance mid-fight to neutralize an opponent's strengths, open new lines of attack, or break rhythm. Success with this style requires comfort in both stances, strong fundamentals, and the awareness to know when to switch. Terence Crawford is the most recognized modern example. He fights in an orthodox stance, using his jab to measure distance and read timing. As the fight develops, he shifts into southpaw, where his power shots become more dangerous. Crawford's ability to switch seamlessly while maintaining balance makes him unpredictable, and many of his biggest wins have come after a mid-fight stance change that exposed openings. Jaron Boots Ennis shows how natural this skill can look in a younger fighter. He moves between orthodox and southpaw almost without pause, throwing combinations comfortably from either side. Ennis uses stance switches not only to attack, but also to defend, stepping away from danger while creating new angles for counters. His fluidity demonstrates the potential of a true switch hitter to control pace and confuse opponents at every range. Defensive specialist. Defensive specialists focus on avoiding damage while patiently creating opportunities to score. Their style is built on head movement, footwork, and precise positioning. The goal is to make opponents miss, frustrate them, and gradually take control as openings appear. This approach requires patience and discipline, as defensive fighters often throw fewer punches, relying instead on efficiency and accuracy. Pernell Whitaker is one of the best-known defensive fighters in boxing history. His head movement and footwork allowed him to slip, duck, and pivot away from punches with ease. Opponents often found themselves swinging at air, while Whitaker countered with sharp, clean shots. His ability to neutralize aggression and win rounds through defense alone made him one of the most difficult fighters of his era to face. Andre Ward showed a more modern version of the defensive style. He used excellent timing, positioning, and clinching to limit his opponent's offense. Ward often disrupted rhythm with quick steps inside, smothering attacks before they could develop, then landing accurate counters or working in the clinch. Ward's control of distance and rhythm meant opponents rarely got the chance to land clean, even when pressing forward. Pressure fighter. Pressure fighters win by steadily advancing and forcing opponents backward. Unlike swarmers, who rely on speed and non-stop volume, pressure fighters use controlled footwork, strong defense, and consistent punch output to close distance without rushing. Their objective is to keep opponents on the defensive, wear them down over rounds, and break their rhythm until mistakes appear. This style demands patience, conditioning, and the ability to cut off the ring effectively. Gennady Golovkin is one of the clearest examples of a pressure fighter. He used a powerful jab not only to score, but to control distance and guide opponents into corners. Once an opponent's movement was restricted, Golovkin followed with heavy combinations to head and body, applying steady pressure until resistance faded. His durability and balance allowed him to continue advancing regardless of what was coming back. Dmitry Bivol demonstrates a more modern version of pressure. He advances behind tight defense, using subtle steps to close range and limit his opponent's movement. Bivol maintains a high work rate without overcommitting, keeping opponents occupied and unable to mount sustained offense. His ability to control the pace of a fight while applying steady, calculated pressure shows how this style can neutralize even aggressive punchers. Spoiler. Spoilers win by disrupting rhythm and making fights uncomfortable. Instead of relying on clean technique or high output, they use clinching, awkward angles, and rough tactics to prevent opponents from fighting at their preferred pace. The strategy is to frustrate, slow the action, and neutralize advantages, even if it means sacrificing style for effectiveness. A spoiler's success comes from controlling tempo and limiting exchanges, forcing the fight to be decided on their terms. Shawn Porter is a clear example of this approach. His aggressive, mauling style often involved rushing forward, crowding space, and tying up opponents on the inside. Porter's superior boxing skills, his pressure and constant clinching made clean exchanges nearly impossible, turning fights into battles of endurance. Devin Haney has also been criticized for using elements of the spoiler style. While technically skilled, he frequently disrupts attacks by clinching when opponents get close. By holding and resetting the action, Haney limits their ability to build momentum. Combined with a strong jab at distance, this tactic allows him to control fights while minimizing risks. His reliance on these spoiling tactics has become a defining feature of his recent performances. Slickster. Slicksters rely on reflexes, speed, and unorthodox movement to outclass opponents. Unlike defensive specialists who depend on structure and positioning, slicksters often rely on natural athleticism and instincts. They use flashy counters, quick head movement, and unpredictable angles to make opponents miss while landing eye-catching shots of their own. The style is difficult to prepare for because it thrives on improvisation rather than textbook fundamentals. Roy Jones Jr. is one of the most famous slicksters in boxing history. He fought with his hands low, relying on his reflexes to avoid punches and counter with explosive speed. Jones used feints, sudden shifts in stance, and unorthodox combinations that left opponents unbalanced and unable to adjust. His success came from breaking traditional rules and using raw athletic ability to dominate opponents who were more technically conventional. Teofimo Lopez carries this style into the modern era. He mixes sharp reflexes with sudden, powerful counters, often using head movement to bait attacks before firing back with hooks or uppercuts. His win over Vasily Lomachenko highlighted his ability to offset elite technical skill with speed and timing. Ryan Garcia demonstrates a similar approach, using hand speed and explosive left hooks to capitalize on small openings. His reliance on reflexes and fast counters fits squarely within the slickster archetype. Showman. Showmen use entertainment and charisma as central parts of their style. Beyond technique, they rely on theatrics, confidence, and psychological warfare to unsettle opponents and capture attention. This can take the form of flashy entrances, taunts during the fight, or exaggerated defensive maneuvers that frustrate an opponent. The effectiveness of the showman style comes not only from skill, but from forcing fights to be contested on a stage where distraction and spectacle matter as much as clean punches. Tyson Fury is the most prominent modern example. At heavyweight, he combines boxing ability with an unpredictable personality that affects opponents before the opening bell. Fury's ring entrances, constant movement, and willingness to switch tactics mid-fight create an atmosphere of unpredictability. He uses feints, trash talk, and showmanship to break focus, making fighters more likely to commit mistakes he can exploit with counters. Prince Naseem Hamed exemplified the showman archetype in the lighter divisions. Known for acrobatic ring walks and flamboyant antics, he brought attention to himself before throwing a single punch. In the ring, he relied on unorthodox angles, hands-down defense, and sudden knockout power, often taunting opponents while dodging their shots. His ability to blend entertainment with effectiveness made him one of the most memorable performers in modern boxing. Slick technician. Slick technicians rely on precision, efficiency, and control rather than risk or raw aggression. Their style is built on fundamentals, tight defense, sharp jabs, and constant adjustments to maintain the advantage. They aim to win rounds cleanly by landing accurate punches while avoiding unnecessary exchanges. Slick technicians rarely get drawn into brawls. Instead, they focus on dictating tempo and positioning, so every moment of the fight unfolds on their terms. Shakur Stevenson is one of the clearest modern examples. His defense and timing make him extremely difficult to hit cleanly. Stevenson uses footwork to maintain distance, punishing opponents with jabs and straight counters whenever they try to close the gap. His economical punch selection ensures that he lands at a high rate while exposing himself to minimal risk. This disciplined approach allows him to control fights from start to finish without relying on knockout power. Alexander Usyk applies the slick technician style at heavyweight. He uses constant feints, angles, and quick footwork to outmaneuver larger opponents. Usyk's ability to throw combinations from unexpected positions while staying defensively responsive